Welcome to the debate. Today, we're dissecting the central premise of Eye2.AI and specifically its accurate AI aggregator. This platform invites users to see what AIs agree on. The operating theory here is that if you cross-reference enough large language models, so your GPTs, Claudes, Geminis, the consensus they form naturally filters out the noise. And my stance today is that, well, in an ecosystem absolutely flooded with hallucinations, this aggregation offers a necessary high-utility mechanism for verifying accuracy.
And I'd argue that consensus is actually a really dangerous proxy for verification. Just because 5 models agree on an answer doesn't make it true. It often just means they were trained on the exact same data. By relying on agreement, Eye2.AI risks stabilizing hallucinations rather than eliminating them, which is a risk, I should add, highlighted by their own site footer. It explicitly warns outputs may contain errors.
Yeah, but let's look at the practical application here. We know single models fail. If I ask a single AI, who is Jesse Jackson, or how many people in the world are celebrating Ramadan, I'm essentially rolling the dice on that specific model's potential for a glitch.
Sure, but that's assuming...
But wait, let me just finish the thought. Eye2.AI allows you to see more, right? If 4 out of 5 models align on the biographical data or those demographic numbers, that statistical overlap significantly reduces your probability of error. You aren't blindly trusting a machine. You are using triangulation to identify the outliers. It effectively turns the user into an editor.
Well, okay, but triangulation only works if the points of reference are actually independent. And they aren't. These models share DNA. They scrape the exact same internet. Look at the more speculative queries from the material, like, are the Chicago Bears officially moving to Hammond, Indiana? Or those conspiratorial queries about Epstein's Island. If the training data for all these models includes the same sensationalist forum threads, they will all hallucinate the exact same falsehood. You're confusing repetition with accuracy. Eye2.AI presents this as a fact check, but effectively it's just an automated echo chamber.
I think you're conflating fact with prediction in some of those cases. The platform isn't just for checking strict history, it's a tool for synthesis. Take the predictive queries. Who will win the most gold medals at the 2026 Winter Olympics? Or asking for a comparison between the 2026 closing ceremony in Beijing. There is no objective truth there yet.
Right, exactly.
So in that context, what AIs agree on is acting as a synthetic wisdom of the crowd. It gives the user a baseline expectation derived from processing millions of data points on current trajectories.
But that wisdom is often just a measurement of narrative dominance, not reality. Take a really specific query from the material. Is the US on Stolen Island? That is a concept heavily loaded with historical and definitional complexity. When an aggregator tells you what AIs agree on there, it isn't giving you a resolved truth. It's measuring which framework is most dominant in the training data, or even just the safety filters of the models. It flattens a highly complex, nuanced definition into a binary consensus answer, creating this entirely false sense of objectivity.
Nuance is always a challenge for AI, granted. But consider the technical utility for safety. The material highlights queries like, how can I detect if a video is an AI-generated deepfakes? This is where the expert AI concept really shines. Different models might be fine-tuned on different detection parameters. Some look for audio glitches, others for visual artifacts. By aggregating those methodologies, the user gets a multi-sourced security protocol. You're using the aggregate power of AI to police AI. That is inherently stronger than relying on a single tool.
See, I find that incredibly risky. You are asking a system to detect errors in reality, deepfakes, when the system itself warns you it is prone to error. It's a massive feedback loop. If the consensus misses a sophisticated deepfake because all the models share a blind spot regarding a new generation of adversarial networks, the user walks away with a false sense of security. You're trusting a probability engine to do the work of a truth engine. Without human grounding, that consensus is remarkably fragile.
No tool replaces the human brain, but we have to work with the tools we have in front of us. My position is that Eye2.AI offers a signal-to-noise filter that we desperately need right now. It's not a magic wand, obviously, but comparing answers instantly allows users to navigate a really complex information landscape with higher confidence than they could alone.
And I maintain that confidence is entirely unearned if it's based on shared flaws. The most honest thing on the platform is the disclaimer itself. Outputs may contain errors. That has to be the primary lens through which we view any machine consensus.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening to the debate.